For this quick Mocha tutorial, I'm going to first make a new composite in After Effects with the footage I've been using for Archetype. I'm going to call this composition Mocha Track Test because that's exactly what I'm going to be using it for. I'm going to locate the file on my desktop and open Mocha. Now I'm using Mocha Pro for this tutorial, but the steps will be exactly the same for Mocha for After Effects. When you get into Mocha, the first thing you want to do is import your footage. And Mocha accepts all sorts of file types, which is very handy. So when you've located your footage, you'll be presented with a new project window. Here's where you're going to set your frame rate and a couple of other important settings, but frame rate is the most important setting. You want to make sure you get this correct. Set it to whatever the footage is at or whatever your comp is set to. Obviously, if not, your track's going to be off and you're going to be scratching your head wondering why. I'm also going to set the cache clip for smaller sequences so I don't have to wait for it while tracking. Whilst the clip is caching in the background, I'm going to jump back into After Effects and copy one of the large triangle pre-comps and place it in the Mocha test comp. I want to slip the timing in the beginning so the triangle doesn't animate in, and it's just going to be a still graphic for the purposes of this test. I also want to line it up to the back of the robot where I want it to eventually be placed. Back into Mocha. I start by drawing a shape on the back of the robot that I think is going to work. I'm going to set the motion settings to small motion and click the track forward button. So you can see Mocha steamrolls through the footage, but it looks like the track's a little off. So to test the track, I'm going to turn the insert clip function, which will put a logo, checkerboard, or whatever, or an image of whatever I want on it, and I can play it back to see how the track holds. This is an invaluable tool for checking tracks because it saves you the time of testing it in After Effects and then jumping back into Mocha to fix it. But just as I thought, the track is okay, but not rock solid. Time for a new shape. For this newer shape, I'm going to choose a smaller part of the back of the robot and keep the motion settings set to large motion, which is the default setting. I'm still going to turn off scale rotation and shear because for this I only really want the translation movement. I will note that Mocha does a great job of tracking all of these at once, but I just don't need it for this project. Start tracking here, and so let's sit back and watch the magic happen for a short while. You will notice in Mocha that there are both the play track forwards button and the track into next frame button. With Mocha, like After Effects, I use both of these buttons. So I'm first going to let it play through and then try and auto track the footage, and then I'll probably fine tune it with the track into next frame button after that. Then going to use the insert clip option again and drop in the checkerboard to check the track. I'm going to adjust the size of the checkerboard to something a little bit more reasonable and play it through. That looks like a pretty solid track to me. So let's take that tracking data back into After Effects and see how it works. This version of Mocha Pro has a bunch of options on how you export your tracking data, which is very handy. The Mocha for After Effects version is only going to let you export to After Effects, which is fine for this purpose. So for this I'm going to choose Export as After Effects Transform Data, and that's going to export anchor point, position, scale and rotation. Once that's selected, you hit Copy to Clipboard and you're done with Mocha. Now jump back into After Effects. Create a null object and then hit Paste. Press U on the null object and you're going to see all the keyframes that Mocha just created that you just pasted into After Effects. Now it's time to link your triangle tracker to your track and then hit play. You will notice that nothing happens, and if you're wondering why, this is because Mocha animates the anchor point as well, which negates the track. So that's not a problem. All we need to do is turn off the keyframes for the anchor point and we'll be set. So hit that magic little stopwatch icon and all those keyframes disappear from the anchor point. Set your in and out points and hit play. Look how solid that track is. Even with motion blur turned on, it looks great. And reposition the triangle to where I want it, and you can sit back and marvel at the wonders of planar tracking in Mocha. From this point onwards, I'm just going to repeat the exact same process as I did before to animate another section of the shot where the robot comes back into frame. What is nice about Mocha is that you can have multiple layers of tracking info, so this way you can go back and re-export different tracks in case you mess something up, or in our case if you need to track multiple objects. Mocha really is super fast, a lot faster than the After Effects tracker, that's for sure, and can provide you with great tracking results if used properly. So if you take this, combine it with After Effects, and you really do have an even stronger visual effects package. So I suggest you go get your heads into it and learn it, because it's going to be a great tool to add to your repertoire. I'm sure a few of you out there are sitting there thinking, what the hell do I need to know tracking in Mocha for? I will argue the case for learning this for a number of reasons. Simply, it's going to make you a better artist if you know how to track. You're going to become more of a one-man show. Secondly, on larger projects, if your tracking department is swamped and you need something tracked for a simple test, you can do it yourself. You don't have to rely on anybody else. This is going to really help also when you're looking at shots in dailies that involve tracking objects. Your eye is going to be more trained at seeing a good track versus a bad one. So just off the top of my head, there's some of the reasons I think this is going to be a useful tool for you and a useful tool for an art director.